Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and this is going to be a top 5 fingertip grip mice video. Really more of just a roundup, but you guys know top 5s, like that's just what you gotta do. And fingertip mice are really my bread and butter. My first ever mouse, the Logitech G203, I fingertip grip, so it is my natural grip style. And these are really just the type of mice that I enjoy most. I don't know how much of that I can chalk up to being a Rocket Jump Ninja fan growing up, but you know, it is what it is. And these are the top fingertip grip mice on the market in 2023. So number 5 spot is going to be two mice that could be excellent, some of the best fingertip grip mice on the market, but just fall short with their shapes for me. But regardless of that fact, these are still smaller mice in the 40 gram range. The HTX 4K is 43 grams, I believe, and the Lamzu Maya is 45. But yeah, really just shape wise, neither of these are it for me. You can look at the Lamzu Maya compared to something like the Pulsar X2 Mini, which is actually a really good fingertip grip mouse, and you see it has lower button height. The sides are much flatter. It's just easier to get a grip of. I do have small issues with the Maya, like the coating itself, the quality of my unit, but really it's just like when I fingertip grip this mouse, I'm like, this is not a shape that's designed for fingertip. It's not low profile, it's not flat on the sides. So yeah, the Maya is just something that I cannot enjoy for fingertip. The HTX, this is a mouse where if you have smaller hands than me, I believe you would have a vastly different experience. But the problem with this is the button height is actually too low in the front. And this is truly the only mouse I have this problem with, where with large hands, I just cannot get a solid grip of it because the way it slopes down so aggressively, if I grip it here, you see the shape actually flares out a ton at the bottom. And if I grip towards the front, the balancing is off and it's like I'm just not gripping it as a mouse. So yeah, you can really compare how aggressively it flares out towards the hips versus something like a Starlight, a Pulsar X2 Mini, and it's just so much less aggressive. I can get a solid grip towards the middle of the mouse without it feeling super wide, and if I grip towards the front, it's just too low. I don't have enough space, so it's just a shape that ultimately doesn't work for me. And I would honestly say it is a worse shape for me personally than the Lamzu Maya because, like I was saying, it's just the button height is so high if I grip it a bit towards the back, and if I grip it towards the front, the mouse just feels like a mess. So there's really no middle ground where it makes sense. I would love to see G-Wolves come out with like a more just X2 Mini like design for fingertip. This is really just the shape that I enjoy most. And yeah, I keep going back to the X2 Mini because I feel like it is just a shape that really follows fingertip grip principles well. At least for how I grip, if you do either like the classic Rocket Jump Ninja relaxed fingertip or just, I mean, that weird ass Optimum Tech fingertip, however you're doing it, the X2 Mini is going to be a solid mouse. And it's crazy to say, but in the low 50 gram range, it is kind of heavy now compared to the mice in the low 40 gram range, like the ULX and the WL mouse. So that is what I would say the biggest thing for Pulsar is if they were to come out with like an X2 Mini, some type of exotic lighter material, that could be a banger mouse. I have no inside info. That's not like me insinuating that, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, when I use this mouse, it is a really good shape, but I just feel like the weight compared to a ULX or something, I'm gonna just be opting for that. But the X2 Mini, if you are on a budget of like $100, I would say this is one of the best. This is obviously an X2 V2, but I can't get myself to say that every time. It's 4K compatible like everything in this video, aside from a few of the budget mice that I'm gonna get to later. But yeah, the X2 Mini is just a shape that since it dropped, it's a joy to use. The sides are so fucking flat. So yeah, if you do have smaller hands or large hands and enjoy gripping small mice, I think the X2 Mini is right up there with the best. And I realized this was going to be a top 5 video, but I kind of counted wrong. And I gotta get the Viper V2 Pro in here somewhere. This is a larger mouse. I kind of look at it as like a step up in size from the ULX Medium almost directly. So if you do have large hands and some of these like smaller, thinner mice for fingertip aren't really like your preferred mouse, then maybe go for the Viper V2 Pro because it's still very flat. It definitely is a wide mouse. Like, it just feels wide in comparison to plenty of others. It's obviously extremely good tech. I think it's down to $130, 57-ish grams. So yeah, it's really just a solid buy in my opinion if you're looking for a top tier flagship fingertip mouse, much better than really anything like the GPX, Death Adder V3. I'm just thinking of those like big box, super commonly used mice. Viper V2 Pro is a solid option for fingertip. I don't know what number I'm at, but we have reached the fingertip mice that are, in my opinion, the best of the best, the cream of the crop, the undeniable top 3. Kind of like interchangeable. These mice are also good, but we have the WL Mouse BEASTX, the Viper Mini Signature Edition, and the Final Mouse ULX. these are mice that, yeah, you can use them for claw grip. You might really enjoy them for claw grip, but they are fingertip designs at the end of the day. Yeah, even though I would imagine people are very familiar with these shapes at this point, here you can see them. The Viper Mini shape, which is a classic, Final Mouse ULX medium, and then the WL Mouse, which is very close to the Vancer Grezza, which is of course close to the Final Mouse medium. So yeah, the biggest difference you're going to notice is that the Viper Mini is smaller and noticeably thinner than the other options, where the ULX and BEASTX, you can clearly tell that the BEASTX took inspiration from the Final Mouse shape, and I'm not going to pretend I have any issue with that. Like, I think that's what they should do, rather than being like some of these brands that just cook up like awful mouse shapes. Not throwing shade at any of them in this video, of course, but yeah, the weight difference between these mice is going to be noticeable as well, with the Viper Mini Sig coming in at 49 grams. And am I going to say this is heavy? Absolutely not. But is it noticeably like heavier, a little bit denser for the size in motion when you're moving it around compared to the ULX or WL mouse? Absolutely. The WL mouse also does have a hint of front heaviness. You can see the only thing going on in the back is the battery. I don't know if like in the future batches they're going to tweak this at all to have it feel a little bit more catered towards the back, so it's like even. But yeah, ultimately the WL mouse is going to feel insanely good at 40 grams. One of the issues in my opinion are the slits on the side, and if you're not putting a lot of pressure, they're not going to be bad. They do feel rounded. It's not like they're cutting your hands up. But compared to something like the flat sides on the Viper Mini Sig or just a plastic mouse in general, I would say the WL mouse slits are definitely more egregious than the average mouse design. And honestly, if I did not like all the other aspects of the mouse so much, I probably wouldn't put up with it. And I just don't enjoy putting grip tape on my mice. I've just come to accept it. Like, some grip tapes are good, but it's still like, I just enjoy using the coating of a mouse, which the WL mouse is pretty good. I would say that this is the driest coating of the bunch. The Viper Mini Sig coating isn't really bad either. The sides are always going to be more slippery on these non-plastic mice, and the ULX coating is definitely the least matte feeling. The clicks feel like the original batches of the Starlights, and the sides just feel like a somewhat slippery, not rubberized, but adequately grippy, just non-plastic material. I'm not going to say this fucking feels like carbon composite, because I would never guess that. But yeah, that was just a quick coating rundown. Hopefully that gives you an idea of how these non-plastic mice are going to feel in hand. And now when it comes to weight and price, which these are just numbers, this does not tell the whole story, but you get 49 grams at $290 with the Viper Mini Sig. $190 for 38 grams. There are multiple sizes, but only the medium has released yet for the Final Mouse, so give me a break when it comes to that. And the WL mouse is the cheapest of the bunch at $140 for a 40-gram magnesium mouse. So yeah, of these three elite fingertip mice, in my opinion, if you're just looking to go out and buy one, I think the WL mouse makes the most sense. With the ULX, there is going to be a wait. I'm not going to lie, having all of these mice on my desk, like not considering any of these factors, the ULX is my go-to. But then again, I've been testing these mice in Kovacs, like one scenario on each of these, and I got a crazy score. It just blew all of the other ones out of the water with the Viper Mini Sig randomly. Does that mean it's a better mouse? No, but like I've been saying, it's just like these are the top tier. Once you have one, you're probably not going to need to side grade to another. But yeah, these mice all just get everything right when it comes to a fingertip mouse. The clicks are light enough for the most part. The ULX definitely has the lightest click implementation, followed by, in my opinion, the Viper Mini Sig, which is just really well tensioned and spammable. WL mouse with Omron opticals is just a little bit stiffer to activate, and then double clicking it when you just compare it to other mice, they just have a slightly quicker rebound. And despite the fact that these switches don't have a lot of travel, it's just something about the stiffness. And I believe WL Mouse actually took my criticism and is going to tune up the switches slightly. And it's crazy because viewers are like, oh, you're nitpicking too much. But the company's like, yeah, we get it. We're going to make it slightly better. So, you know, that's just how it is being a mouse reviewer at the end of the day. But yeah, surprisingly, when it comes to like wobble and grinding, the Viper Mini Sig has the most feeling of actual grinding. The ULX has a lot of just wobble of the like button itself. There is side to side play, which I think they're addressing in the next batch, but it was nothing that really hindered me in game, while the WL mouse is just fucking rock solid. So maybe it's like It's just too stiff. There's not enough play to allow for the lightness in the click feeling, but really it's usable in game at the end of the day, but it's just like a 1A, 1B thing when it comes to the click feeling. With my WO mouse, the construction of the sides is extremely solid, but the side buttons do have a ton of wobble, which was one of the big issues that they apparently have addressed. ULX obviously had the UL Flex debacle. My unit is still holding up amazingly well. I'm going to make like a update on this unit after a good amount more use, but yeah, it's really, there's truly nothing to mention. This feels fucking solid in hand, and obviously at 38 grams, extremely well balanced. It is just the nicest lightweight fingertip mouse in my opinion. Fingertip grip mice in general are stupid. I didn't include them for a reason. It's not because I haven't tried them, it's because they're just like, they're all a gimmick at the end of the day. And I saw Keychron released one that weighs like fucking 100 grams and it's like this big. It's just like, guys, just get a full-size mouse mentioned in this video and you are going to have a lot nicer of a fingertip grip experience. Another underrated thing for fingertip mice is actually the comfort grooves on the clicks. You can see something like the Lamzu Maya, it just like really has nothing going on with it. The HTX, it's very minimal, but all of these good mice like the Pulsar X2 Mini, even the Viper V2 Pro, like there's noticeable comfort grooves in the clicks. A mouse like the OP1 Wii was not mentioned in this video because it's a bit too heavy and the clicks are way too heavy, but that is a design that's like solid for fingertip but just failed by endgame gear in my opinion. And now last but not least, there is going to be a little budget mouse section because I just know, you know, every video you make there has to be a little budget mouse section. So the Attack Shark X3, it's really a solid fingertip grip mouse, a bit more curved at the hips than I would like, but I can still get a solid fingertip grip on it, and this is literally a $40 mouse. It's only 1K polling compatible, but yeah, this is just my go-to budget wireless mouse recommendation pretty much. The clicks are light, they don't feel the highest quality, but like, I mean, you can only ask for so much at the price. And now a little bit more expensive is the VGN Dragonfly F1 Max. Okay, yeah, this is the Max. I almost said the Pro, but yeah, this one, I don't know, it's like 50-60 bucks, and it's very solid. It feels like it comes out of the same factory as Ninjutsu mice. It is also a little bit heavier at 55 grams, at least for the Max version, but yeah, honestly, I would say increase your budget to $90 and then pick up an X2 Mini if you're serious about getting a fingertip mouse, or just get the Attack Shark X3. If there's anything I didn't mention in the video that you think is a top tier fingertip grip mouse, it probably isn't, but just kidding. I mean, let me know in the comments, I guess. But yeah, I feel like this really does cover the cream of the crop, some more accessible, like non-super expensive variants, and yeah, that's it. This is my magnum opus on fingertip grip mice. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and yeah, just let me know what you guys think about this and fingertip grip mice in general. But that is going to be all. Peace.